The MotoE World Championship gets ready for its second race of the day here at the Le Mans Bugatti circuit in France. Welcome to round 2 in the opening weekend of the season. Let's cross over and join our World Feed commentary team as we have all of the action here for race 2.
Couple of weeks for the reigning champion, but hopefully we'll see the number 1 back on this grid before long. Just saw a glimpse of Andrea Mantovani promoted from 4th on the grid into 3rd. That's because Eric Granado was originally slated to be starting from 2nd, the middle of the front row. And as Kiko said, everyone will be moving up a place behind, including Gutierrez and Mantovani.
Absolutely. Mantovani, one of the big winners. Matteo Ferrari, another on the 2nd row of the grid. We're going to have a look right now at Kevin Zanoni, though, of course, double a winner in this class. He goes from 4th. Jordi Torres next up. But let's talk about Matteo Ferrari very quickly, Neil, before we get into this luckless opening race. Quite frankly, he needs to make amends here.
Yeah, he really does. It's a big non-score next to his name as well. Ferrari was another crasher in race 1, exiting the Shimano Buff S's. A strange crash, that you have to be said, exiting turn number 10. So he will have a chance to put that right. He did crash out of the first race here in 2023 and came back and won the 2nd. So he'll be looking to repeat that form this afternoon.
This is Maria Herrera back inside the top 10 for the first time in a very long time. So the Women's World Championship leader and now also a top 10 finisher in 2025 in MotoE. Jordi Torres, your only double champion on the grid, as we've said. He's 37. He's one of the oldest riders on the grid. But those 4 wins, those 2 titles, 16 podiums, he's well in with a shout of trying to add to those tallies today.
He's almost given me a run for his age.
Almost.
Almost, exactly. Emphasis on that. But Torres had 2 pretty iffy starts earlier. He'll be looking to capitalise on the first corner and the first 2 or 3 corners, which are always so dramatic here at Le Mans. And Matteo Ferrari, as we said, starting just behind in 6th.
Me being only 26 years of age, I'll let you know if I ever make it to 37 or 38. We are just about to go and get underway here. MotoE Race 2. Alessandro Zacconi going from pole. Will he convert it this time? Welcome trackside to MotoE Race 2 here at Le Mans, France. Round 1 of 7 in 2025. And the grid looks like this. Alessandro Zacconi, he was 3rd in race 1. Pole again, though. Would he be able to make it work this time? And there is no Eric Granado. Oscar Gutierrez moves up instead. Andrea Mantovani with a front row starting place. Zanoni, Torres and Ferrari, we spoke about them. Lorenzo Baldassari, the number 7, going from 7th. Herrera 8th. Mattia Casadei, no time second qualifying yesterday evening. He goes from 9th, virtue of Granado's absence. Spinelli, Finello, Hosiuk on the 4th row. Jacopo Hosiuk, besides Baldassari, the highest performing rookie. Luca Bernardi, Tibor Eric Varga, Tommaso Occhi and Raffaele Fusco. Fusco, of course, involved in that accident. We should have had an 18-rider field. No Hector Garzo. We heard from Elliot York with him on the grid earlier on. And we should have had Eric Granado, but as we say, he's out with a broken leg, and we wish him well and a very speedy recovery. He's one of the most popular riders in the E-Paddock, so we hope that we can see him again soon. If you're just joining us, I'm Kiko Giles, alongside me, Neil Morrison, and we'll be taking you through what we hope will be 8 laps of MotoE action to cap off the opening round, Neil, in what has been a tricky one. That is absolutely no getting away from that, but likewise interesting. Perhaps no domination like we thought we'd see from some of the riders, and instead a real field of parity.
Yeah, it seems that way, although Oscar Gutierrez will be out to prove you wrong in this 2nd race. Bit of a different bike this year, an evolution on Ducati's V21L from the last 2 years. It is around 8 kilograms lighter, and which means that many names in this field are still trying to get absolutely comfortable with it. So as a result of that, we have seen quite a few crashes through pre-season and this first round of the season. But with just over 1 minute to go, I'm going to pass down to Elliot York and ask him for his prediction for this race. Who's going to win, El?
Oh, you've surprised me with that one, Neil. I'm going to go with Oscar Gutierrez again. Confidence from race 1, and for me, he was the lead sort of favourite coming into the title race. So I'm going to go with Gutierrez.
Ooh, put your neck on the line, El, why don't you? I'm going to go, not that anyone cares, Mantovani for this one. I reckon he's going to get right up and amongst the pigeons at the front. Neil, it would be rude not to.
Well, I'm going to go with the pole sitter, Alessandro Zacconi. I think he'll have learned enough in that first race to put some changes into practice. And yeah, I see the Italian getting his season off to a really good start with victory in race 2.
Let's see what he's able to do. Of course, we are just 20 seconds now away from the start. No warm-up lap here in MotoE. They need absolute maximum battery to see who will it be at the end of it all who takes glory. Race 2, MotoE, Le Mans, go as we fire up into life. Oscar Gutierrez, he grabbed the whole shot earlier on in both of the starts in race 1, and he has stolen the show once again up through turns 1 and 2. But it's the big anchor dropping session into turn 3, but it looks like Gutierrez has got it sorted so far. He made this line earlier, went wide, covered off turn 4. He's through and safely in the lead. Everybody as well through the Dunlop chicane without any misdemeanors, and it's Gutierrez ahead of Mantovani, and once again Zacconi, I think dropping. He dropped all the way down to 4th this time because Kevin Zanoni has come up through into 3rd place as they come out of La Chapelle down towards turn 7.
There's a mouthful. Zanoni leading Zacconi on the track, but the pole sitter has got a second average start in succession. Another good start from Lorenzo Baldassarri, who's jumped up 2 positions into 5th place. Matteo Ferrari sitting pretty in 6th, and Mattia Casadei has gained a couple of positions into 7th.
That looked like Mantovani wasn't troubling the first apex at Garage Vert, but I think he kept it up all nicely. So keep an eye on Mantovani. The number 9 chases the 99. Now down here into turn 9, hold your breath. It's bumpy on the way in as Mattia Casadei tries to come through on Ferrari and does so. Let's see if they're all through safely this time. I think Casadei just sacrificed the exit of the Shimano berth, but he just about holds on indeed ahead of Ferrari. So another place picked off from Casadei on Ferrari. Ferrari going backwards. Casadei from 9th on the grid, already 6th.
You can tell Ferrari's confidence, maybe not quite what it is normally, because normally he would have tried to respond into the following turn, but he just let Casadei go with it. A couple of riders getting a little bit squirrely on the exit of Recordamont. One of the slippiest corners on this venue, but it is Oscar Gutierrez whose advantage on this first lap isn't quite what it was in race 1 earlier today. It's just over 1/10 of a second. Mantovani sticking with him ably and getting very close. Hit the braking zone!
Oh, that's a crash for Gutierrez. Oh, and he was hit as well. Oscar Gutierrez was collected in the middle of the chicane. He lost the front coming through. I think it was the 2nd place of Mantovani who just about squeezed on by without too many dramas. But that was a horrible accident up at the chicane. Yellow flags in sector 1. Alessandro Zacconi it was, I think, who collected Gutierrez. But that'll be under the race direction already about however this race is going to unfold. But we'll pick them up, and we'll pick that up when we have news on it. Down towards turn 8, so Kevin Zanoni finds himself in the lead of this race from Mattia Casadei and Matteo Ferrari, Neil. And I think we may well be about to have a stoppage here because we've got a rider down in the middle of the track at turn 4. Down towards turn 9, this is where the first red flag happened earlier on in the race today. We have Zanoni, Casadei and Ferrari.
Yeah, that was a horrible incident, and we're really hoping that Oscar Gutierrez is okay, because he took the brunt of that collision with Alessandro Zacconi up at turn number 4. That is a nightmare situation. You do not want to crash there and then basically be stricken in the middle of the track, but hopefully Oscar Gutierrez is okay. That has done a complete revolution in terms of the order. You can see that Casadei up into 2nd from 9th on the grid. And
look who's in 4th place. Nicolas Spinelli has come through on Andrea Mantovani. So Mantovani's avoiding action means that he has dropped back down to 5th. And Nicolas Spinelli, your double winner from Le Mans 12 months ago, is up into 4th. Now we're approaching this crash site. We've had no red flag so far, so let's hope that the incident is cleared as they come up towards this chicane. We have got it all pretty much sorted. I am absolutely amazed at that. So remarkable work once again from the Marshall trackside and indeed race direction to keep this 8-lap dash going again. Yellow flags in sector 1. That will still be because they're clearing the accident just away off the racing track. So very good stuff indeed from the Marshalls. Back with the action. Casadei in 2nd place has absolutely started to hunt down Kevin Zanoni. Now I tell you something, he would have had an absolute riot if you'd said Tell you what, Mattia Casadei, you could be on for a victory in race 2 tomorrow afternoon after yesterday's horror show in qualifying.
Yeah, but he was picking his bike up out of the gravel. I'm sure the last thing he would have expected was to be sat in second place after just 2 laps of race 2 here at Le Mans, but that is the place he finds himself in, and he is like making it look as though he might have an answer for Kevin Snowni's speed currently up front. So Casadei looking fairly comfortable there in second place at the moment.
And Matteo Ferrari's licking his chops as well in third place. If it all goes wrong for the 2 ahead of him, you can guarantee he'll be trying to sneak on by and pick up any pieces if there are any scraps left for him. Just outside a shot, Spinelli still 4th ahead of Mantovani, but they're only split by about 0.2 of a second. Much like this battle at the front, Casadei had a little think about it on his fellow countryman then and thought Valour was the better part of discretion there, so he's through into P2 at the moment, but not quite making an attack on Zanoni. Now, slipstream is vital here. These bikes are heavy, but it still plays an effect. That's just the science of motorcycle racing. We're coming through turn 2. Now, my money will be on Casadei setting this up into 3. He has a look, holds fire for now.
Yeah, and as you can see in the timing bars off your screen, fastest laps for the first 2 riders in this race. Casadei, though, was some 0.3 of a second faster than Kevin Snowni up ahead. With that kind of rhythm, you have to say it's only a matter of time until the number 40 manages to get by his compatriot into P number 1. And at this pace, Matteo Ferrari struggling just a little bit to keep up with the top 2. Oh, someone's down.
Someone has gone down. You can hear, that's the thing with these MotoE bikes, is there's no
Ferrari?
engine noise. You can hear the scrapes.
It is Ferrari.
I think Ferrari has checked out here. You couldn't see him in the background. He's falling down the timing tower. Great spot, Neil. Matteo Ferrari has gone down as Kevin Zanoni goes wide, and Mattia Casadei moves through to lead. So the 40 hits the front as Ferrari hits the deck. Zanoni, is he going to come back at him? He's going to have a look, but he can't do it on the brakes. Casadei leads.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Casadei then, from 9th on the grid up to 1st in 4 laps, and there it is. Matteo Ferrari has had an absolutely disastrous opening to his 2025 MotoE campaign. Double DNF, double crash here in the 2 races in Le Mans. He'll be going into round 2 with a big 0 next to his name in the championship.
2 lots of nothing and pointless after round 1. Assen is going to have to be a monumental point scoring round for Matteo Ferrari. That puts Nicola Spinelli. Now, Nicola Spinelli had qualified down on what, row 4, I think 11th place yesterday. He's now looking down the barrel of a podium. The number 29 of Nicola Spinelli doing an excellent job at the moment. He's just ahead of Jordi Torres. This is Maria Herrera now, who's coming through on Andrea Mantovani. So Herrera up into the top 5. That would be a joint best career result, matching Mazzano 2019, the first year of MotoE, as they come up under the Dunlop Bridge and down to turn 6.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Maria Herrera. This is probably her best ever weekend in the MotoE World Championship, going all the way back to 2019 when the class first started up. Jordi Torres has managed to get by Nicola Spinelli in that fight for 3rd, and you have to imagine that the 2 Clint forward bikes of Herrera and Mantovani just behind also have a chance of getting past Spinelli. Spinelli has had a bit of an off weekend. It's been a tricky start to his campaign as he gets to grips with his new team. Switched from Tech 3 across to rival Cold Snipers for this 2025 campaign. Still doesn't look quite at his best. Double victor here, of course, last year was the number 29. And he's a bit of a job on his hands defending this 4th place.
He really does, but look at not just the 4th place, it's the 3rd place battle here, because Jordi Torres, he's under pressure from Spinelli. Spinelli, right as you say, is under pressure in 4th place, but look who's chasing him. Maria Herrera. This is fantastic from her, as through on the inside, Lorenzo Baldassari. He's going to have a look as he lets the brakes off in turn 11 and takes Andrea Mantovani out to the car park. Just about gets it sorted for turn 12. So Baldassari back up into the top 6. It's where he finished earlier. It's where he looks like finishing today at the moment.
Yeah, you wonder whether that incident up at turn 4 spooked Mantovani somewhat, because he was so strong in race 1, fought with Oscar Gutierrez all the way to the checkered flag for victory. Looked set to do that again in race 2, but just looks as though he is very subdued as Maria Herrera goes by. Nicola Spinelli up into 4th place, coming into turn number 2. That is a brave move from Maria, super stuff, and she must have real designs not on a podium finish here.
I tell you what, that's the best move I think we've seen all weekend up towards turn 2, because normally if you get it done at turn 2, you're offline for the chicane and you're nabbed back, but Maria Herrera, she is riding so well here. 3 laps to go. We're in the second half of race 2 MotoE. She is smelling a podium here. Jordi Torres, Jaws music is out, and Maria Herrera is the shark on the attack. So let's see what Herrera can do in the next 2.5 laps from home. It's not done at the front either yet, Neil, I've got to say. Casadei, he may be leading by about half a second or so, but Zanoni keeping him very honest at the moment. So it's one of those races, you need 2 screens. We need to see the battle for third and the battle for victory. Not sure which is more important though, because Maria Herrera getting a podium here, that would be some start to 25.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Casadei made a bit of a mistake in the first sector of this lap, because he lost around 0.2 of a second to Kevin Zanoni just behind. His lead was 0.4 of a second crossing the line, then it was down to 2. It's now risen back up to 0.4 of a second through the third split. So I wonder if Casadei made a bit of a mistake early on and has now rallied.
Yeah, I think he might have rallied, but Zanoni's a real believer here. Also is out Lorenzo Baldassarri, but not this time on Nicola Spinelli. So Spinelli found himself up inside the podium, but that pace that he's just not really had all weekend, unable, unfortunately, to really take him to the rostrum. We've got a long lap penalty just come in for Raffaele Fusco, shortcut at turn 9, so he's definitely gone on and then rejoined and not dropped enough time. So, whoa, that was close. Lorenzo Baldassarri had to get out of it there. He almost hit the back of Spinelli. Now, that would have been an absolutely huge accident at turn 2. They're quick through there. It's one of the fastest corners on the MotoE calendar, but good riding from Balda. He keeps it all upright and tidy, whilst Maria Herrera is pointing all the way at Jordi Torres. Torres is under attack here.
Yeah, he is indeed. Maria Herrera was matching the leaders on that last lap in terms of lap time as she closed in on Jordi Torres by 0.2 of a second on the penultimate lap, or sorry, on the 6th lap of this race. You can see that Kevin Zanoni is keeping Mattia Casadei very honest indeed. He's managed to gain another 0.1 of a second on his compatriot through the first split of this lap.
They're coming through turn 8 as we just take a pause and gather our breath for what it looks like could be a bit of a blockbuster final lap. We're on lap 7 of 8, 1 to go at the end of this one, and I'm not sure it's all settled for the podium yet, because Maria Herrera is really building into this lead that Jordi Torres has. This is for the final podium position. Lorenzo Baldassarri building in Nicola Spinelli, not quite able to get it done again though at turn 11 this time around. So Lorenzo Baldassarri might have to be a last lap fight and shootout here if he wants the top 5. Let's see if he's able to do anything down into the last corner. No, not this time. So Mattia Casadei is coming over the line now. He has about a half a second gap back to P2, and Kevin Zanoni as we start the last lap here.
Yeah, Kevin Zanoni just posted his personal best lap time off the race, but that still wasn't enough to cut the gap to Casadei up in front. Casadei was nearly 0.2 of a second faster on that penultimate circuit. You can see Baldassarri look as though he is going to be getting underneath Nicola Spinelli up at turn number 3. Manages it with a beautiful controlled move. This is a very solid debut, I have to say, from Balda.
And it could be a solid fight back from Spinelli, but not this time. He thinks better of it. So Balda up into the top 5. That would be a very solid debut. As you say, Neil, he is flying the number 7 flag and indeed the Dynavolt flag as well, because Hector Garza is absent. P3 looking a little bit more settled as every passing corner is one less opportunity for Maria Herrera to put one over Jordi Torres, and what a result it would be. It looks settled at the front. Casadei, it's not home and dry yet. One mistake and he will be paying a big price. But Kevin Zanoni, I just don't see. He is close within a second, but with the half a lap to go, I think it's just a little bit too much, Neil.
Yeah, I think Zanoni has settled for second, which is probably a wise move, a chance to get some really good points on the board. He's now 0.7 of a second behind. Casadei up ahead. Herrera, I don't think is close enough to launch an attack on Jordi Torres, although she is, well, she was 0.3 of a second back. That is now gone up to 0.4 through split number 3.
It's going to be, though, Mattia Casadei coming through turn 12, 13 and 14 record him on. Wow, what about this one? He started in qualifying in 10th place. He had to come through the pack. He has come through the pack. Mattia Casadei takes victory in race 2 in MotoE. He's at only second. Third, but pushed very hard, Jordi Torres, and Maria Herrera with a career best P4 ahead of rookie Lorenzo Baldassarri, last year's double winner Nicola Spinelli. man and rider of the meeting up until that crash with Oscar Gutierrez. Andrea Mantovani, what a fine effort from him in 7th. Jacopo Hosjuk, the Romanian rookie, up there in 8th place ahead of Luca Bernardi and Tibor Eric Varga. Your top 10 with Alessio Finello and Raffaele Fusco at the moment, your 12 finishers. We are waiting for Tommaso Occhi, but that will be your order. Round 1 done. Lots of drama, lots of eventful racing out on track, lots of stories coming into this one, Neil, and plenty more to come. Where do we start? Let's start with the 40, Mattia Casadei on top of the LCRE team.
Yeah, superb victory for Mattia Casadei. I really did think that he did well getting 5th place in race 1 after qualifying 10th, but that really was even better. And to hear a reaction from the LCR squad, it's been a day of mixed emotions for Lucio Cecchinello, and he is in pit lane with El.
Yeah, Lucio, I could tell how much of an emotional victory that was for Matteo. Obviously, disappointing qualifying yesterday, but what a ride from the Italian.
Absolutely, because I mean we didn't expect to win the race too, you know, because we know that it's a very tough and short race, and you know, starting on the so far on the grid is not that easy, but yeah, there was a couple of crashes. I hope that Gutierrez and Zaccone are okay. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy this winning.
Go and enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Mixed day, sorry Neil, mixed day for the LCRE team. Of course, Eric Granado out after race 1, and then race 2 winner with Mattia Casadei. So mixed emotions down there for Lucio Cecchinello, but team a winner nonetheless.
Yeah, winning nonetheless, and incredibly, Casadei leading the Riders' Championship after this first round of the season. 36 points he now sits on, with Kevin Znoni slotting into 2nd with 33. An amazing turnaround from Casadei, and all looked lost yesterday after he crashed out at the Dunlop chicane on his first flying lap. Did manage to set a lap time, had to start all the way back in 10th, but that is an indication of just how strong Casadei is, how fast he is in 2025, and the former MotoE World Champion is out to get his crown back from the reigning champion this year.
Kevin Zanoni 2nd in the championship. He's 3 points adrift of Casadei at the moment. It's been a solid start to Zanoni. 4th in the first race, 2nd today, and I think you can say that's a very solid opening round to his 2025 campaign.
Yeah, it really is. Kevin Zanoni just fell short in last year's championship, finishing 4th overall, but he was in the championship fight for the majority of the season. And he showed that he has the consistency, maybe not the outright speed just yet of some of the fastest names in this category, but used his head, I felt, in the closing laps of that 2nd race there, Kiko, to put some really good points on the board. And as I said, 2nd in the championship, leading round 1. You can't ask for a great deal more than that.
You really can't, and at the end of the day, it's a long old championship, this one. You can't win it in the first round, but you can certainly lose it. You've got to get those points scored, and if 5th and 1st is all that Mattia Casadei can manage as well, so be it. He still leads the championship. 3rd place in the standings is Andrea Mantovani, but it's another podium for Jordi Torres. He is just carrying on as normal. Some great scenes down there. Of course, it is 2 and 3 for Jorge Martinez Aspar's team, and as you can see, the big man down there himself, as well as Nico Terol. Smiles all round down there.
Yeah, Jorge Martinez Aspar, just in the middle of your screen there. Nico Terol, the team manager, in the sunglasses behind. Really good stuff from those two riders, but I'm going to go out on the limb here and say this. Star of the first round of MotoE 2025, Maria Herrera in 4th position. She has made a massive step forward this year after finishing 16th in last year's championship. She missed the official test in Barcelona. That was held over 3 days because I think she was racing in the World Superbike Championship or in the Women's World Championship. And Maria, we've never seen her this strong, or we've never seen her that close to the podium battle in any MotoE race going all the way back to 2019. So yeah, fantastic stuff from her, and hopefully more to come.
Absolutely, very successful stuff indeed for Maria Herrera. It is her best result ever in the class, and it's a long time since she had a top 10 before this round. It was at Assen in 2022. We're going there next, so this might just be a season to remember for Maria Herrera. Of course, she is your FIM Women's Circuit Racing World Championship leader as well. We're going to get ready to go down to Elliot York, who has been non-stop all day down there in pit lane. MotoE his final duties. We're going to hear from him in 3, 2, 1 order, I'm sure. That means Jordi Torres. It's a 17th career podium for Jordi Torres. As you can see, Elliot York there with the headset on ready. What music is he?
Okay, now it's time for handing back over to this, as Joshua is currently in the middle of the touring cars. I shall congratulate Cassidy, I believe it is, who has won this race, but also hope that Oscar Gutierrez is okay after that fall, because that was a nasty fall. But he seemed to be okay afterwards, though I can guarantee that he is likely gone to the medical centre after that crash, as well as they all should, especially in that first crash. And thank you for watching. Please go over to the main JB Motorsports channel for the rest of the streams that are on there. Thank you. Goodbye.